Hello, everybody. It's the 5 o'clock shadow. We are here with. Okay, that's the wrong thing. I forgot to change. I changed the right one, the other one. Let's get the right one in here. Hello,
Uh-oh.
everybody. It's the 5 o'clock shadow. We are here with. Okay, that's the wrong thing. I forgot to change. I changed the right YouTube. The other one. Let's get the right one in here. Hello,
Uh-oh.
everybody. There we go. There we go. We are here with Stephen Hurley, who I will show in half a second when I get back to my OBS. There we go. And there we go. With here with okay, why did that go black all of a sudden? We're here with Stephen Hurley to talk about his comic book Rim Intergalactic something.
Mercenary.
Mercenary over on Fun My Comic. Jeez. Oh, I'll get good at
You're
this
fine.
eventually. So how are you today, Stephen?
I'm doing good. How are you today?
I'm good, good. Of course, we've been talking for about the last 20 minutes behind the
Yeah.
scenes about this, that, and whatever. Um, Nobody appears to be in the chat yet, but that's all right. We will continue on. So, how did you get into comics?
Oh man. Well, I used to be into indie comics and everything back pre 9/11, and then 9/11 happened, and I ended up joining the service, and 19 years went by, and I amassed injuries and things like that. And they said, well, it's time for you to go. And so I got out about 2 years ago, medically retired. And, I said, well, I know how to do two things. I was a tanker when I was in the Army. And
I
it's
have
like, well,
I have a buddy around, and you might know him, Tank Ferret.
Tank Ferret. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's another tanker.
He's another tanker. Yep. Yep. I
Uh,
know him. Good
we
dude.
got my sketchbook in chat, and I think he's been in the army too. I could be
Oh,
wrong,
yeah.
but anyways, I'll let you go on. Sorry for
Oh, but
interrupting you.
no, 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 it's okay. I get sidetracked very easily too, so it's not a big deal. But no, so I knew how to do two things. It's like I can blow stuff up, which you can't do a lot of that on the outside world. I said,
True,
well, I
true.
know how to draw comics, so draw and write comics. So
So, were you
uh,
like into DC or Marvel or anything like that as a kid?
Oh
Or
man, I loved them all. Oh my gosh. If I'd be lying if I said I wasn't, being a child of the '90s. I got hit by that image bug, something fierce. Um, and I pretty much I owned every image book that was out there. Um, huge fan of image, huge fan of independence.
yeah,
I got into Caliber Comics, which was out of Detroit because I'm originally from Michigan.
ah,
And Caliber Comics was right there in Detroit, and so the Crow was a big influence on me, and James Abar, and how he did it himself and everything. Now the only thing I've done with like my own comic is I provided one of the covers, um, and then I have a friend out of Mexico City, in Mexico,
so
who does all the art.
cool, cool. So, did you like take any schooling for art, or are you just like self-taught?
Pretty much self-taught. My dad is actually the well-known artist. He gained notoriety as an airbrush artist in the '80s and '90s, and I saw him getting into coffee table books and things like that, and I was like, well, I want to try to do something with my art. And it would have to be comics, so because I just love the art medium of comics. Went to a con, met Billy Tucci. Billy Tucci definitely, inspired a lot of that. I would watch shows like Anti Gravity Room on the Sci-Fi Channel.
I remember that.
Good one, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
You know, I mean, and I'd watch Nick's Comic Corner, and he'd talk about comics, and then I'd go to my local shop and
yeah.
see what was out there, serious books, things like that. Like I said, I was really big into like independent comics.
So, what was
Uh,
your favorite book,
oh man, my favorite book.
and maybe favorite hero too?
My favorite hero. My favorite hero is probably Spawn. I'm a huge Spawn head. I got a bunch of the figures from back in the day, and I bought that newer figure that came out. Uh, Long since I haven't been up to date on the comics. I did get the Spawn universe when he branched out with the new titles and everything, and I was getting those for a little while. Um, but I was really big, like I said, I was really big into the Crow. I was getting, the Crow series that was out. Anything that was the Crow, I
Yeah,
was buying.
I remember that
Like,
movie with Brandon Lee, the original.
yeah, oh, absolutely, it was great stuff. But I was a really big fan of those comics, and geez, Dawn. I was buying Dawn. I was buying Strangers in Paradise. Um, just a lot of titles that oh man, trying to think of the what it's called now. Poison Elves. Poison Elves was a huge favorite of mine. you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, I guess also your favorite villain.
My favorite villain. Um, Man, my favorite villain is probably Magneto.
Ah,
Actually, I love Magneto. Um, I kind of like how he straddles the line between a character that you can sympathize with. When I was younger, read a lot of the X Men. Of course, Chris Claremont's X Men was very influential. Um, but his portrayal of Magneto was someone that I thought you really could be on one fence side of the fence or the other.
yeah,
I could understand where he came from as a quote unquote villain.
yeah,
Um, having survived the Holocaust and stuff like that, and didn't want to see it happen to mutant kind. I was like, oh man, and it twisted my brain, to think of a villain that you could almost root for,
yeah.
you know.
Oh, okay. Well. So, how did you go about creating your universe, your character? What inspired you for your character precisely? Not
um,
to do the comic is, I guess, not so much what got you into it, but the comics, which I already asked, but your character.
no, so really, it's an amalgamation of my love of 80s cartoons and heavy metal magazine.
Ah,
I thought, well, what if I did something that was just everything is over the top. It's a space opera. Um, that just has all of the stuff that I loved about heavy metal and Star Wars and stuff like that I liked when I was younger. And then I said, what if I just over sexualize it and ramp it up and and, and that became Rin Intergalactic Mercenary. Now she's actually one. There's one part of a two-part that leads into the ongoing series. So Rin works for a company called the Helix Agency, and so you have this first book, which is Rin Intergalactic Mercenary, and then I actually just funded Electric, which is actually going to be her partner, Electric, agent of Helix. And then currently in production of Double Helix, which will be both of them coming together
okay.
to
So
basically
not the Rin, the other girl. What was her name?
Electric.
Electric. should you be able to get that one easy, electric. So was that one on like GoFund, in
No,
Indiegogo?
that one was on Kickstarter,
Oh, okay.
actually. Yeah.
So yeah, so you got a campaign over there as well right now as.
No, no,
Oh
it's
yeah,
long
you
up
just said it
and
funded.
whatnot.
Yeah.
We're currently doing well, I'm working on post production on that one. We're getting it colored and lettered and everything, and should be sending that one off to print here soon. And then I'll have two books under my belt, you
Cool, cool. Yeah.
know. But they're basically in.
I've got
Oh, go
three.
ahead.
I've got three in the comic book, a coloring book. I mean.
Nice.
My friend Chris Talamucci's here. He says nice sizzle reel, so I presume he's already gone over to uh, the the link in the description to over to Fund My Comics and looked at your video, which is pretty good, and we will play it in a couple minutes here, of course. Um,
Awesome. Thank you.
and if anybody out there has any questions or whatever that they can think of for um,
Oh yeah.
Stephen, feel free. Um, so I guess you're building yourself a universe. I know what that's like. What other projects besides these two mercenaries do you have to build universe?
Well, the really that's all I got. I'm building my Helix verse, as I'm calling it.
Yeah,
That's all I got for the time being.
well, that's good.
It's just going to be these two girls, and then they're villains, because I like the idea of a rogues gallery.
Yeah,
So I have just these weird, strange villains that were very inspired by. Well, actually, I rated. I get ahead of myself a little bit. I rated my drawings from when I was a kid. And there was the main one. There was this character called Dr. Demento, and he had like a half metal face, and he created this character called Patchwork, and I was like, oh, well, this is really good stuff, boy, there's nothing more creative than a mind of a child,
yeah, for sure.
so. So I thought, taking that stuff, and they just reminded me because they are knockoffs of characters that
That you knew
I
and
saw
loved as a kid.
that I knew and loved. Yeah, from 80s cartoons and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And I was really big into the cartoon scene.
yeah, same
Um,
here.
so I can sit here, I
Now
can talk
most of them
about.
suck.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they didn't really hold up to the test of time, but
Yeah. Well, the problem is, and I heard, is the fact that none of them have the toys to sell. It's not a toy commercial now, really.
yeah,
So
this is
they
true.
they just make it crap. They don't care.
Mhm.
They don't
Yeah,
make it inviting to go be toys. Although I think they sell toys of most of this stuff, but it's not the main motivation, like
no, it's
He-Man
really
and
not.
Thundercats and
Yeah.
Transformers. Chris says, "Yeah, I want to show that tonight too." Yeah, he usually has about half an hour before he starts. He shows a bunch of videos, different people's stuff and all that. So I'm
Oh
sure
wow.
you'll be more than happy for him to show yours.
Absolutely. Yeah, show it away. Yeah, I'm
In
all
that,
for it.
yeah, most creators are. So I guess you are the artist, the writer. You're the one man show in this, or do you have a
Oh.
writer?
No, I'm actually the writer, and I provided a cover for it, and I just found that there was a lot of hats that I had to wear, so I kind of had to ask myself, well, what do I have time for? I'm not the world's fastest artist, I'll put it out there.
Yeah,
Michael Turner used to turn out like 3 pages a day. I wish I had that talent, but I don't. So I reached out to a friend of mine, which is he's actually the one of the colorists for the book, Edgar Wolf, and Edgar, got me in contact with one of his best friends,
yeah,
and that's Benjamin Sanchez, and me and Benjamin have just been like attached at the hip, creating. I sent him my scripts and my concept art, and he just takes the ball and makes it 3 times more beautiful than anything I could imagine. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I understand that. Myself, I am an artist. I do some of my own art. I've created my own characters, but I'm even with
nice.
my books now. Because I have a big vision. I'm starting to hire people out. Okay, can you draw this? Can you draw this? You know, because and although I don't have a lot of money to begin with, so that makes it
Oh yeah,
extra hard.
and that's where the crowdfunding comes in because yeah, it's you need it. You need it for funding. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I use it more just
Artists.
for printing. I usually end up paying the artist out of my own pocketbook at this point,
I gotcha.
just because the printing. I think it's the biggest well, next to marketing, of course, is the biggest problem because depending on how much you print, it can get very costly.
I'll
Even
tell you. Oh no, go ahead.
even printing, like 100 books, that's $400 or $500.
Hmm. Oh yeah,
Yeah, and
easily.
yeah, you can pay for a page at a time, which might, well, depending on your artist, that can be expensive too.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah.
Chris says
No, it
laugh out.
definitely racks up.
Yeah, Chris says laugh out, allow exposure, and then Sketchbook says be right back. Uh, um, so you said how you met, and you're the writer, and you've got a colorist. I'm not sure what to ask about them, if anything. What? um, Maybe we should show the
Sure.
campaign. So let's take this all away, and let me go over to thing. Hopefully, this will work the way that I want it. Okay, hopefully everybody was able to see that. Were you able to see it in the corner or whatever through my little thing?
No, I didn't.
Okay, was everybody able to see that? Hey, Jeff, got a bolt, guys. See you later. Okay, later, Jeff. Was everybody able to see that in this section here? So I see. Well, I'm getting an answer to that. So I see a guy in there. Can you say who he is? Any of the other characters in the book besides Rin herself?
Um, yeah. So you have 3 villains that show up in it. So it's an anthology book, and you've got Doctor Demento. You've got you've geez, I'm trying to remember all the characters I created for it, but I remember the main one revolves around Doctor Demento. Um,
Yeah.
then you basically have a character who's gonna he basically you'll find out the origin of the Crimson Phantasm, which is an ally to Ren and Electric.
Okay.
You got the Heriter, who's basically a cybernetic cowboy um, hunter, or more than not like a cowboy. He's more like a poacher. That's what he was designed after. He collects people, you know. So he's out there trying to, and then you have Rector, and Rector is the main bad guy. He's this mob crime lord, and all these little guys kind of work for him. So Demento is basically helping Rector, cybernetically enhance all their, the the different
Minions.
minions. Yes, yeah, it's cybernetically enhancing all the different minions and the rogues gallery that you're going to find. So any kind of cybernetical uh, type part, because like Rin, it even shows like some of her origins with Doctor Demento. Um, you're going to find out that her arm was actually uh, came from Doctor Demento.
Okay.
Without giving away too much, I don't know. It's not
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
you
it's a
know,
fine line. What do I give away? What do I
yeah,
don't?
get away. Um,
How many
you'll
pages?
see. It's a 32-page book.
Okay. Okay, go on. I was just I thought about the
Oh
page
yeah.
count and whatever you were saying before I
No, no,
interrupted.
I was basically done. I'm sorry.
Oh, no
Yeah.
problem, no problem. So, okay, let me go over here. So we got the tagline here is the insane adventures of a bad-ass purple space elf named Rin. 80s cartoons meets heavy metal in this 32-page anthology.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, well, see, she's actually called a Calcarian, but I thought it would just be funny to tell people what it is.
yeah,
She's a purple space elf. No one knows what a Calcarian is. I made it up.
yeah,
you
sure, sure,
know.
sure. So obviously yours is dealing with well space, so is Earth involved in any way, or is it just all other planets?
No, this is all other planets. It's completely otherworldly. If you're going to compare it to like Star Wars, it'd be like the Tales of like the Outer Rim or something like that. It's basically this specific galaxy, and you'll find out that well, there's a character called Bogan, and Bogan is in charge of Helix, and you'll find out more about him in the Double Helix comic, which will reveal his interactions and how he interacts with the girls.
Yeah,
And Bogan is from I can't remember if I called it Praxis. It's Praxis 6 or Praxis 5, something like that. I'd have to go back in the story and see what I put in there. um, but so Praxis is basically this galaxy that they operate in, and you know,
yeah,
I use it as a tool and a springboard to create different little inhabitable worlds and storylines for the characters. Really,
yeah. Hold on a sec. Yes, Mom.
sure.
Uh, you don't know him. I'm interviewing him about his book, Stephen Hurley. Uh, okay. I'm just wondering whether you wanted anything. Uh, my mom does that often while I'm online.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Hello, JR. How are you? Okay. You just did. They can hear you. Uh, let's see. JR says sci-fi for me, Christian YouTuber in Kansas City who often covers comics. Oh, okay. He put a link to that. Another guy. I asked him to do that last night when I was having my thing. So far you have like 19 backers. You have
Yeah.
$353 US. You have 7 days to go, and you're at 71%. So, um, definitely you've got a digital tier here for $1, so US. So this is easy to back people. It's $1 or for you
Once.
or for us Canadians probably about a buck 30. But at that point there's no shipping,
There's
which
no
is
none whatsoever.
a good thing. And for a 32-page book on a crowdfunding, a buck is a steal, because normally these things are $3 or $4, $5. But so you're getting a good deal. You can see the artwork on the side here, and you've got how many different covers here?
I have four, no, six covers. Sorry.
And all by different people, obviously.
Hmm.
These are all $5 US. So again, a good deal for a 32-page comic book. Um, you know,
My goal was to make comics affordable again. One of the things that I find with the indie scene, and it's nothing against anybody, but I just noticed, at $20-$25 a book, I can't back every campaign that comes out, when they're $20 a book.
yeah,
So I
for
was
sure.
like, man, something should be done about that. So I looked into it, and it's basically it comes down to, people are like, oh, your prices are really good. How do you do this? It comes down to volume. It's basically the more I print, the cheaper I can make the book. So the more people I can get to buy the book, you
Yeah.
know, the cheaper it'll be. You know.
And your estimated shipping is August 31st. Here, some more covers. All the different covers.
Now,
For,
Ren, I'll be honest with you. I think I put that out there just because with my other book, it's taken me so long, and I underestimated the issues that I ran into with coloring and ink and production.
yeah,
So I've constantly had to send updates and explain to people what's going on, and I feel bad for it.
yeah,
So I overextended it, but these books are done. So I mean, like I literally have them sitting right over here in the
yeah,
corner. They're all separated, ready to ship out. So people are probably going to get their books a hell of a lot sooner. But yeah, I put August just to cover my butt.
yeah. I understand that. Hey, Joshua, how are you doing? Joshua says hi to my mom. My chat all know my mom. Okay, so I think that's most of. But we got another page of things here. Okay, this okay, cover D, $10.
Okay, that's
Um,
when we start getting into the Steph Wilson covers.
yeah, is that? Oh, two, two of them. One safe for work, one not so safe for work.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, and of course $20 for five covers. Oh wow, that's a good deal for that's like ends up being $4 a book.
Yeah,
And
I mean that's
and
the kicker,
yeah, and obviously I know what I looked at the shipping for Canada earlier before thing because um, I'm highly tempted to get it, especially with the shipping. Shipping is only $10 US, so the five plus the 10 ends up being like about 20, just under $20
Mhm.
Canadian. So that's really a good deal compared to a lot of the places that are out there
And
doing
like I said, it just comes down to that volume.
yeah,
The more people I can get interested in the book, the cheaper I can make them. You
yeah,
know,
for sure.
and it's just looking at the same business practices that Todd McFarlane has with Spawn. Why can he sell Spawn for, I believe it's like $3.99 or something like that. Um, it's because a bunch of people buy his book worldwide. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, and that's the thing is you want to get out there and you got to make it as cheap as you can to get it into everybody's hands
Absolutely.
because the cheaper it is, well, I won't say necessarily the cheaper it is, but most likely the cheaper it is, they're more likely to buy, especially if they can afford it. Just as you just got to do that point where they don't think it's so cheap that it's going to be not so good.
Yeah, no, no,
Of
no.
course.
That's why it took so long to produce.
Yeah.
I'm making sure that quality is
Yeah.
paramount.
And, looking at the art here, you can tell that it's, really great art. Um, I can't say much about the story yet because I haven't read it. But of course, you're going to say it's a great story.
It's a
And
great story. I mean, it is. It's exactly what is described. I mean, it's the idea of '80s cartoons meets heavy metal. So I mean,
yeah,
we're not talking about rocket science here. This isn't it's a space opera. It's
yeah,
are there threads in there that you can follow? Sure, absolutely. But I mean, it's cheeky fun. Is what it is with over the top action and all that kind of stuff.
yeah. And your company is Apothec Press.
Apothic, yep.
How did you come up with that name?
Actually, it had a lot to do with the wine. I thought it was a cool name, so I looked it up. It's the root word for apothecary, and
Okay.
I thought, okay, cool. It's kind of like so apothic. It sounds exotic, and you know, uh, just like an apothecary has a bunch of stuff, and herbs and whatnot for what ails you. I can basically cure what ails comic fans. I don't know.
uh, okay, so it's a 32-page anthology from Antholic Press LLC. It's already finished up. We just need backers to print for
Mhm.
4 artists, 6 covers. Join us on Four Adventures of Rim, an intergalactic mercenary of the Helix Agency. Each story Dubé's, I'm saying that wrong, a new villain that will grace the pages of Double Helix #1, the limited series that follows this book and the follow up, Electric Agent of Helix. And then, of course, some sample pages. So, for those in the U.S., what's the shipping like there?
Like I said, I think it's like $5 for the U.S.
That's definitely good. Worth a getting for sure.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so now which cover do I want? I think I've convinced myself to go for the shipping.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay, so before I uh, do this, let me switch it back to us because I don't want anybody to see my info.
Yeah. No, definitely not.
Okay, so here, let me go back over to it. And you know what? I think I'm gonna do your cover.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
well, you're Tanner Hurley, right? For that.
I am. Yep.
Okay. So, sorry, Luke. No tip. Shipping address. Okay. Okay. There's only one problem. That does not create. Uh, just wanna. Yeah, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It just didn't. He didn't have my apartment number down first, so
Oh no. Got
I
to
don't
make
know.
sure.
That's very important.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I need to check the box. Doot, 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 doot. Uh, multiple. Okay,
Thank you so much for your support.
so there. You now have 20 backers and are at $368.
Heck yeah.
Let's see. Now let's get back over to thing. We can show the thing now. Uh, Browser streamer. There. And why does it not want to show that you? There. Hopefully people can see you now. Uh, well, they've always sort of been able to see you, except when I did just thing the browser there for a second. But right now we're small with the browser. Um, Trying to think. Anybody in the chat have any questions or anything for Steve about the book or the
Oh
campaign?
yeah. I love questions.
Yes, same here. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's not, because sometimes they think of questions that you never think that they're going to think of, and you get stuck for a second or two. Okay, how do I answer this? How am I going to make this up on the fly? Not
Yeah,
that you're
that's
making
true.
up an answer, just how am I going to word the right the answer to their question? Um, so you've said you've done crowdfunded before on
Mhm.
Kickstarter. How? Well, off air we did that, and
Yeah.
Kickstarter's been real well for you over there. You were saying?
Kickstarter works really well for me. Well, okay. My last campaign I actually had to do a second chance campaign for Electric Agent of Helix because the first campaign did extremely well. Like I ended up grossing over $5,000 on it.
Oh wow,
Um,
that's definitely
y-
good.
yeah, except I then had over $2,000 worth of what do you call them? Um,
Fees?
drop subscribers. Yeah,
Ooh, ouch.
yeah. So that hurt. I
Yeah,
was like,
that's the problem. That's probably because of the Kickstarter model, because they don't take the money right away and people forget. I know
yeah.
that's happened to me a once at least, and at that point I'm like, okay, I contact the thing. Okay, I didn't have the money. I actually have the money. Yeah, can I PayPal you the money?
Yeah, that totally, deflated me and everything. I
Yeah,
was like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? But I ended up doing the second chance campaign, and that went really well. And then I'll eventually do another campaign on Fund My Comic because I'd say it's a success.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and the great thing is here you can have the one where you get the money no matter what. Unfortunately, with
yes,
Kickstarter, it's all or nothing.
it's all or nothing. Yeah.
That's another good thing about Indiegogo. Well, if you get to your goal, and their goal is minimum of $500.
Well, I think a lot had to do with the economy.
Yeah,
Inflation was starting to hit people and everything, and
yeah,
I think I ended up
yeah,
feeling the same thing that the economy was feeling. There wasn't a lot of extra money for comic books.
yeah.
You know,
But I just mean with the $500 goal. At least if you get to that mark, you can you know, if it's actually no, I think if it's a flexible goal, even if you
I
don't get to the 500, you get the money.
hmm
Yeah, so
yep, that's what I've been doing with it.
yeah,
And
which is
it puts
that's sort of good. I like that.
oh yeah, it puts more money into for shipping supplies and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
yeah, every little bit helps.
Yeah, and that's nice to have here over on Fund My Comics as well. That and they give you the money as you go along.
Yeah, which I didn't notice at first, and then I started getting these notifications and everything, and I was
Yeah,
like, whoa, this is awesome. Okay,
yeah, it's good, but it can be dangerous at the same time.
it can be.
Just in the fact that you might accidentally spend the money.
Well, thank God it's going straight into a business account. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, especially if you have an account that's separate from all.
separate, yeah,
Yeah, that way you don't spend it unintentionally. Not that
absolutely.
I've done that, but I could see it happening easily. So it doesn't look like there's anybody with any questions since
Okay.
nobody's chirped. Um, so anything last thing that you might want to say, a pitch, the elevator pitch maybe?
Oh man, putting me on the spot.
Yeah,
The elevator pitch. Like I said, it's a cheeky, fun action comic. It's with some sexy characters and goofy villains, and that I tried to write and take seriously, and it's that's it. It's fun. It's a fun little space book.
okay. Uh, okay, so I guess that's it, everybody, for now. We didn't quite go the hour, but that's all right. Maybe next time. Well, and of course, not that you use Discord, but anytime that I'm not sure whether you subscribed or not to my YouTube channel, but anytime
Subscribe
that,
to the YouTube.
I was going to say, anytime that you're free in that, if you, like I said, if you get Discord, you can come on anytime when I'm live, except for maybe
Okay.
when I'm interviewing somebody.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
But you're more than welcome to come on anytime. I have my Discord open and I'm in it for anybody to come on when I'm on air, and we can just talk about whatever. Well, I do whatever, or Tuesday nights at 10 o'clock Eastern, I have a chill stream, so we come on talk about whatever,
Okay.
and you can even chill during that if you want.
I appreciate it. Definitely.
So with that, I'm going to end the stream. And again, thank you for coming on. Hope
Thank
you
you for having
enjoyed,
me.
and we'll see everybody tomorrow. Hopefully in the chat at noon tomorrow. So bye for now. God bless.